Hello, I'm Cynthia Izaguirre in Dallas, and here are your headlines from North Texas. An injured Fort Worth firefighter is back home and reunited with his newborn son. Kevin Reese shares their touching reunion and the joy of this new beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely been a heck of a year for us. But
and maybe the understatement of the year for the miracle that Caleb Halverson is, and the second miracle his wife Haley is holding.
We're so blessed and so lucky to be able to have him home.
Hudson Halverson, born premature at just 1 pound 9 ounces, his first 122 days of life in the hospital. Caleb Halverson in the hospital 34 days after the September 3rd garage collapse that burned half of his back, dislocated his shoulder, and crushed his left knee.
The support system that we have, it's insane.
At home now in Argyle with painful skin grafts healing and that leg still locked in a rigid brace.
I would go through that again to be able to come home to him, and my wife.
The Fort Worth firefighter wants you to know that he's actually thankful.
There's so much to look forward to, and all I can do is start crying because I'm just thank you for, thank you, God, for letting this happen right now.
Thank you that it wasn't worse. But it's also really exhausting because 2 miracles take a lot of work. So
Hudson is up to 8 pounds now. Caleb bracing himself for more surgeries and planning to be a firefighter again.
I got 26 years left, so I definitely want to enjoy them and get back on the fire truck.
Until then, Haley and her 2 miracles celebrate.
Well, even the small things, he rolled over for the first time.
Yeah, he rolled over for the first time today. So, yeah, it's crazy. He's a wiggler for sure.
And a fighter for sure, just like his dad.
It'll be one heck of a story whenever he asks someday.
In Argyle.
He asked about his birth story and be boys, sit down.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin Reese.
Police say a murder suspect turned the gun on himself during a standoff in the city of Van Alstyne. Investigators say Jomar Lee Davis is accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend, Breonna Castro, on Monday. Tuesday morning, a tip led police to Davis, who was barricaded in Castro's car. Police say they tried to negotiate, but Davis cut off all communication and then shot himself. Davis died at the hospital. No one else was injured. North Texas communities are grieving the loss of a beloved teacher, mother, and friend. Her name was Chelsea Spillers, and tonight, police believe her husband is responsible for her death. Luke Clary spoke to her neighbors in Alvarado, now left asking if more could have been done to save her life.
Days after Chelsea Spillers was found dead at her Alvarado home, her neighbor wishes she'd done something more.
I think we're all kind of feeling that. We wish we would have known, or we wish we would have took more action.
The 33-year-old Alvarado high school teacher died of blunt force trauma on Saturday. Days later, her husband, Brandon Ashley, was arrested on a murder warrant more than 100 miles away in Grimes County, Southeast Texas. I'm at the suspect's sister Amanda here in Alvarado. She says that on Saturday she met her brother Brandon at a gas station in Corsicana, where he confessed to her, she says, that he killed Chelsea. She says she drove down the road just far enough to know that she wasn't being followed and called police. A tragic end, but trouble had been brewing. On Thursday night, days before she was killed, a neighbor called police to report a domestic disturbance at their home.
Me and my daughter were coming out of the house to go to cheer practice, and we just heard, get on the ground, put the gun down.
Brandon spent the night in jail. Chelsea bailed him out. Friends and family are remembering her as a compassionate person, a dedicated educator.
Caring for the kids, being there for them, taking her time, getting to know them, making them feel like they were seen and heard.
Chelsea and Brandon share an 11-year-old son. He's now staying with family. And Alvarado ISD says that counselors will be available on campus for as long as students and teachers need them. In Alvarado, I'm Luke Clary.
A Dallas church is fighting back against the governor's new order targeting rainbow crosswalks. Today, Oaklawn United Methodist Church painted its steps in rainbow colors. They say it's an act not of defiance, but of faith. The senior pastor says it is a visible witness to the gospel we preach, that every person is created in the image of God. 2 weeks ago, the governor ordered all sidewalks conveying social and political messages to be removed, including rainbow crosswalks. The city of Dallas is still reviewing the directive and working to determine how to move forward. A North Texas sixth grader is turning heads and turning her dream into a booming business. Janelle Fort shows us how a simple bag of popcorn is taking one 12-year-old entrepreneur to new heights.
Inside one of the busiest airports in America, among the souvenirs, neck pillows, and snacks,
Hi, would you like to try the world's best gourmet popcorn?
you'll find a small bag of gourmet popcorn with a big backstory.
I started when I was 5 years old and I just wanted a business. It's not like I had a business plan or anything, just the desire to make people happy.
That's how 12-year-old Audrey Harrison's dream started 7 years ago.
That's the kettle corn right there. We started making it in our kitchen a little bit.
With their dad, Jeff, weekends in Grapevine turned into pop-ups on the front porch. Then door-to-door sales,
Save me some, don't eat it all.
farmers markets, and more. Father and daughter selling smiles one bag at a time.
We would sell every Saturday, rain, snow, cold, it didn't matter.
Over the years, that dedication turned those smiles into opportunity.
Once we partnered with the factory, I mean, that made all the difference in the world. I mean, from that point, we could start working on the branding, we could start working on having a strategy.
Would you like to try the world's best popcorn? It's my business.
Then came DFW Airport.
So I was walking through Grapevine, Maine on a Saturday morning, and Audrey and her dad were out there with a simple card table, sampling and selling. I stopped by, tried some, and it was fantastic.
Concessions manager Sabrina Cater invited them to a concessions outreach meeting, where she introduced them to Bridget Villegas, Hudson's Vice President of Business Development.
She did her elevator pitch, and I was highly impressed. And I went back to the company and I said, we need to get this girl in our stores.
Months later, Audrey's popcorn made it past security and into Hudson stores.
And it's right here on the wall, right next to Frito-Lay and Coca-Cola.
We're always looking for locally made, unique products for our customers to enjoy, share with their loved ones when they return to their home. So this is just total home run, in my opinion.
Same for us. We're super excited to have Audrey.
At DFW Airport, thousands of people take off every day.
It's hard to even process in my brain that of all this is happening. It's amazing.
And now, for this young entrepreneur, her business is taking off too.
We're at Love Field and Houston too, and we're looking to get all over Texas.
In Grapevine, by way of DFW Airport. I'm Janelle.
And those are your headlines from North Texas.